Manchester United, the red shirts, black shorts and black socks of Manchester United kick off. Bruno Fernandes playing it all the way back to Onana, who launches the ball forward over the halfway line, and Everton in the blue shirts, white shorts and white socks are able to get their first touch of the match, and Calvert-Lewin heading it on through the middle to Doucouré, who is very strongly challenged centrally by Lindelof, and already the tackles are snapping in Leon Osman.
Yeah, it's going to be a very difficult afternoon, I feel, for the referee. There's no surprise to see Manchester United there right from the kick-off take the ball back and just lump it forward into Everton's half, try and get the ball into Everton's half. I wouldn't expect them to try and overplay within these first 10 minutes, give any encouragement for this Everton team to press and get after the ball.
So Everton on the back foot as Manchester United come forward with Harry Maguire, but back it goes all the way to goalkeeper Onana, again injured on international duty playing against Mauritius, and here he is now on Merseyside playing against Everton. You don't get too much more of a contrast than that. Ball through the middle towards Martial, so Højlund is out. It's Manchester United play it long and forward, but Ashley Young gets up on the edge of his penalty area. Branthwaite now heads it down, hooked out by Bruno Fernandes to the right hand side to Marcus Rashford, and now ball to the edge of the penalty area. McTominay drives into the penalty. Oh, he goes down under the challenge there of Branthwaite, and the referee John Brooks totally unmoved, and McTominay down inside the box. Well, we'll wait to have another look at that, but that would have been a brave decision from John Brooks in the second minute after all that at the Gladys Street end to give a penalty against Everton.
Oh, absolutely, wouldn't it, just in front of the Gladys Street crowd as well. And McTominay's questioning the referee, he's asking him why he didn't feel it was a penalty kick. We haven't seen it back on any of the replays, but McTominay certainly acted like there was contact at least, and the referee decided not to give anything.
That is Leon Osman, former Everton and England midfielder, as Lindelof hits a long raking pass from left to right into the path of Rashford, who brings it down. Now the cross from Dalot, it's deep towards the edge of the penalty area. Oh, what a goal! That is absolutely sensational from Garnacho. A bicycle overhead kick that found the top corner beyond the dive of Pickford to his left. That is stunning, and it has stunned Goodison Park, and it's Everton 0, Manchester United 1, and there won't be many better than that this season.
Wow, John, I mean, you've just said it. I don't think you'll see many better goals across the world this year, this season. That was absolutely stunning. The move from back to front, Lindelof picked the ball up as that left centre half just inside his own half, and where the goal came from, Dalot made a run from full back. He started in a more advanced role and he just ran right across Everton's defence. It moved Mikalenko completely out of position. That allowed a lovely diagonal ball to Marcus Rashford. Dalot then made an underlapping run. Rashford played him in, cut edge of Everton's penalty area, and he dinked his cross towards the back post. It was actually behind everybody. You thought he hadn't given anybody a chance, but quick as a flash, Garnacho spotted it, adjusted his body, and it was behind him, and yet he still rises into the air, and as sweetly as you've seen one hit, connects with it right off the, might have actually just been the touch of his shin, but they don't matter, right into the top corner. Pickford, absolutely no chance. What a good start from Manchester United.
Well, memories there, some of the great goals that we've seen scored. I'm thinking Mark Hughes, I'm thinking Wayne Rooney, the famous goal that he scored in the Manchester derby. That was right up there with that. I mean, it was acrobatic, it was spectacular. I think it's one of the best goals I've seen live.
Yeah, I mean, and that's some saying the goals you must have seen down the years live, John, and I can't argue. It was absolutely stunning. The timing of his leap, coming backwards away, the momentum he didn't actually have, he had to generate it himself, and then the connection, the accuracy, absolutely flawless.
Everton 0, Manchester United 1. Well, we didn't know quite what to expect coming here to Goodison Park this afternoon, and we've already been surprised.
We have, and it's knocked Everton. I think they were trying to get close to Manchester United in those first couple of moments, and since then they've just lost the distances. United are able to just knock this ball down with a lot more ease, and Dalot again popping up in that number 10 position when he's starting as a fullback.
That's a dream start for Manchester United to what is a really daunting 7 days, even for the club that is Manchester United, to have to come here today, to go to Istanbul. We'll be going with them on Wednesday. I say we, it'll be Alistair, Bruce Ball and Stephen Warnock actually, but that is a really tough assignment to go there. They're bottom of the Champions League group. If they lose that, they're out of the competition. And then Newcastle at St James's Park last Saturday night. But Eric Ten Hag, who's up in the stand somewhere, I haven't yet seen evidence of exactly where he is. You're pointing, can you see him?
Yeah, he's just down in front with the grey flat cap on.
Oh yeah,
next to Darren Fletcher.
That's very well spotted. Ball played forward through the middle, and here's a run from Garnacho, but he can't reach that. Not even Garnacho can reach that, and it is through to Jordan Pickford, who had absolutely no chance with that. With the opening goal, scored in the 3rd minute. I mean, it was a great move, actually. A super pass. I think it was Lindelof, wasn't it, who hit the pass perfectly into the path of Rashford. Dalot on the overlap as Doucouré goes tumbling down on the halfway line under the challenge from Harry Maguire. That's a free kick. But Dalot on the overlap, and the cross near the edge of the penalty area behind Garnacho, who had to twist, and as Leon said at the time, with his back to goal, went for the overhead kick, caught it beautifully, and it dropped beyond Pickford into the top corner.
Yeah, it's the type of one that you've seen attempted so many times, but you know the percentage is probably 0.01 times that would happen when someone goes into the air as he did. But we've just seen something special.
1-0 Manchester United, and that certainly has affected the atmosphere inside Goodison Park. We've got the 10-minute protest to come very shortly in just over 3 minutes time. But Everton, here's a long one for them. Not sure Everton have been into the Manchester United penalty area yet. Here they are with Harrison on the right hand side, though in the full back position, but 2 men on him. Menu is there, and Garnacho, the ball's bounced away behind for what he's given as a goal kick, and you can hear the reaction to that. Harrison is absolutely furious.
Yeah, it was interesting because the assistant, who was about 4 yards away from it, hesitated but gave a corner kick. And actually, the referee overruled him and gave a goal kick. I'm just seeing a replay of it now, and it was a corner. The assistant, who was right there 4 yards away, should have just held his ground.
Everton have won the ball back. Calvert-Lewin with a cross towards the back post, looking for Doucouré's run, but Harry Maguire was underneath that. Varane's on the substitutes bench again for Manchester United today, so it is Maguire and Lindelof, the central defensive pair. Manchester United making 3 changes today, so Martial coming in for the injured Højlund, Menu into the midfield, Eriksen on the injured list, and Shaw playing at left back, and Everton playing it out here to Harrison. Harrison 25 yards out, goes infield and runs into Garnacho, and then Menu puts in the challenge, but the free kick had already been given actually for Harrison on Garnacho, so it was a free kick to Manchester United before Menu put in his challenge.
Yeah, good work from Garnacho. Spotted that his team had just given the ball away. Everton potential for an attack. There was a big space in an area he knew he could get back and cover, and he sprinted back there. I haven't seen that probably enough from him in his Manchester United career, but started the game really well today with that goal and backing it up with important roles within the team, getting back and helping to defend.
So that is Leon Osman with us on 5 Live on the World Service. Listen as well, if you're on the move on this Sunday afternoon, it's not as cold as it was in Manchester yesterday, but BBC Sounds, you'll be able to follow us, listen to all BBC radio on there, and indeed go back, rewind the live radio, listen to the commentaries again, and I bet Garnacho will be rewinding that moment a few times over the course of his career. 19 years old, helps when you're 19 with acrobatics like that, Leon, I would imagine.
Don't think I could ever manage agility like that. That was again something really special, but you're right, I don't think a 39-year-old Garnacho would be able to produce something like that.
But you do think moments like that, that's what players, managers hope can change seasons. As Young plays the ball down the right wing to Calvert-Lewin into the penalty area now, cuts back, left foot shot, but it was rather weak actually from the angle, and Onana was able to drop down onto it with Doucouré arriving, but Onana held it securely. I did wonder whether the flag might have gone up there, but it stayed down.
Yeah, he looked to all the world like he was offside, but the assistants just signalled that it was Dalot on the far side that did keep Dominic Calvert-Lewin on side, and he's right again. I haven't just seen the replay. Dalot was 4 or 5 yards deeper than the rest of his defensive unit, and actually Dominic Calvert-Lewin should have made more of that for Everton.
Already almost reached the 10-minute mark, and remember, you know what it says on the placards. 9:47, 9:48 it says on the big screen. So the whistles, the boos, and in fact the cards are now going up again. These anti-Premier League cards. And here we go. 10 minutes now. And another chorus of boos inside Goodison Park. But this designed to have greater impact because it is during the match. So people will be tuning in. They're obviously listening to the World Service. But people will be watching these pictures all around the world. The placards, the pink placards, just expressing how Everton fans feel about this 10-point deduction, and in the words of the club, that it is disproportionate and unjust. Obviously, the appeals process continues. Manchester United attacking, leading 1-0. Here's the goal scorer Garnacho. Still the pink cards are up. Here's Luke Shaw. He's been out since the second match of the season. Now infield to Bruno Fernandes. He curls it in right-footed, cleared away by Branthwaite. And Everton now will break forward with Idrissa Gueye. And Gueye up towards Calvert-Lewin. Tried to just flick it forwards with his left instep for the run of McNeil. But there was cover there from Dalot. And Manchester United have got it back with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think they've been quite comfortable so far, Manchester United. I think what they've been trying to do tactically has been quite effective. Mainu has had a really impressive start, the youngster. Quite really comfortable on the ball, really relaxed in possession despite the atmosphere. And he's dropping back within the back to make a back three of Manchester United. Dalot's going forward into these number 10 pockets of space. Rashford's movement has been decent enough to come back to where Dalot should be. Manchester United are having real comfortable possession.
And Leon, of all of the, well, hundreds of matches you'll have played inside this stadium, you know, these are unprecedented scenes, aren't they?
Well, they are, because Evertonians will get behind the team. It's about what happens on the pitch, but this isn't about what's happened on the pitch. This is about what's happened off the pitch.
Lindelof hits another really fine pass forward towards Rashford. Rashford running at Mykolenko into the penalty area. Rashford blasts it across. And it did take the flick off Mykolenko, says referee Brooks. And it is a corner. I think he went for it. You know, even from the very tight angle, he hit it with such force. Maybe the prospect of maybe winning a corner, but that's what he's got. And now we've got people standing up. There seems to be a disturbance. Well, in fact, it's fireworks outside the ground. Fireworks over near it's the church on the corner, isn't it? And
sounds like it's in the church. It sounds really close to being right outside the stadium.
Corner to Manchester United at the Gladys Street end. Outswinging corner. Here it is, delivered by Dalot. Luke Shaw's under this on the half volley, and it flies over the top of the crossbar by maybe only a yard and a half. Well, if that had found the net, we would have seen 2 goals in this match, the like of which you rarely see. And now that the fireworks, it's a full-blown fireworks display that's going on just outside the ground, the main stand to our left.
Yeah, and through all the noise that's going on in the stadium, without the stadium, before the game, Manchester United have come to play. Manchester United have started this game quite impressively. I haven't seen them perform to a good level for the majority of the season. They've been quite inconsistent with their performances, but this one started well.
Everton coming forward, 1-0 down. Here's McNeil. If you've joined us late on 5 Live in the World Service, you've missed one of the best goals that you'll see in any season. Overhead kick by Alejandro Garnacho in the 3rd minute. So 1-0 Manchester United lead after Aston Villa won at Tottenham in our earlier commentary match. So 3 defeats in a row for Tottenham. We've already heard from Ange Postecoglou. I suspect we'll hear from Unai Emery at half-time. Villa are now in the top 4. Everton with Harrison. Harrison, left-footed ball, lifted, floated into the penalty area. Maguire was quickly onto that to head it away. Harry Maguire, 9th consecutive start for Manchester United. Still the fireworks are going off. I'm sure you can hear them as Pickford goes for a long ball from the edge of his own penalty area, looking for Calvert-Lewin, who's beaten in the air by Harry Maguire, who comfortably got there first. And Everton now get it down in centre field with James Garner, and then back into central defence to Branthwaite, and still it continues. There is a choice of listening, by the way, on 5 Live right now. Over on Sports Extra, the Newcastle-Exeter Premiership match. So that is what is available right now on Sports Extra via BBC Sounds. Long pass forward, bounces to the halfway line. Ashley Young, all of his experience, 38 years old. Now Idrissa Gueye runs away with the ball, gives it to the left-hand side to the Ukrainian Mikolenko, back to the left back, and then Idrissa Gueye misplaces his pass, and Manchester United have got it back inside their own half. You did raise an eyebrow. It's Meno who just stepped in there. You raised an eyebrow, Leon, when the team news came in that it is Menu in midfield and Amrabat on the substitutes bench.
Yeah, for experience of knowing what kind of game this can generally be. But I've got to say, the young man's had a very impressive opening 15 minutes of the game. Positionally, he's been excellent. In possession of the ball, he's been even better so far. Just seems to have a real awareness what's around him, always checking his shoulder. And Everton have struggled to get close to him in those areas.
Amrabat on the bench. There's no Anthony today. I'm told he picked up a knock in training. No Mason Mount once more. Wan-Bissaka is also not involved. He has been unwell, but it's a long injury list Manchester United have got, but they've started this match in excellent shape. Everton with Harrison, but he loses out, and now Bruno Fernandes hits a pass that is intercepted by his stretching long legs. There aren't many longer legs out there than the legs of Jared Branthwaite, and he's able to turn the ball back to Pickford. No Amrabat in the starting lineup, but we have had Acrobat, Leon. Here's Young forward towards Ghana. Now back to Ashley Young again, the former Manchester United man, a Premier League winner with Manchester United, no less. And then Ashley Young, Manchester United passed into the back of Garnacho. Down he goes, and it's a free kick that is given, and someone in the main stand has thrown the ball back into the chest of Luke Shaw, who is unruffled by that. In fact, he turns and has a look at whoever threw it at him and just gives them a little thin smile. He'll be just pleased to be back into the action, Luke Shaw. Yeah,
as well as manager, they've really missed him massively. The balance that he gives this Manchester United team with that natural left foot out here on the left-hand side. It's not many that can replace what he brings to this Manchester United team. It allows Garnacho, who's playing on the left today, to be cutting inside. Marcus Rashford, when he's in the series, I think has really missed Luke Shaw being in the team.
However, today Rashford is on the right-hand side. No Højlund. So he won't get that elusive first Premier League goal today either. Although, as Erik ten Hag was pointing out, he is the joint top scorer in the Champions League this season, Højlund, with the 5 goals that he scored, and he is Manchester United's top scorer. McTominay playing the ball back to Onana, who's got the ball at his feet, shouts that it was over the dead ball line. I'm fairly confident that it wasn't. To the left of the goal as he looks at it, but he had to clear it, and he cleared it straight out of play for a throw into Everton, halfway inside the Manchester United half.
Yeah, those are the moments he's going to have to improve on, Onana. Manchester United have been confident, they've been good in possession, they haven't given Everton any real opportunity, and then he just goes and dwells on the ball, gets caught and has to kick it out for a throw, and now suddenly Everton are able to put a bit of pressure on Manchester United when up to this point they haven't been able to do anything.
They haven't. Onana has been relatively untroubled. The attitude from Manchester United, helped by that fabulous goal, has been absolutely spot on so far. Erik ten Hag, that was a great spot to pick him out in the crowd. Did you see him walk down to his seat?
I'd love to tell you I'm just very observant, but he came up on the TV.
Right. Poor vision from me. Here's Harrison on the right-hand side. Harrison running at Shaw, and then in comes Garnacho diving in. He must feel like $1 million after seeing that ball end up in the back of the net for his goal. Garnacho dives in, full of business, puts it out for a throw. Harrison now, ball back in play. Harrison onto his right foot, then back onto his left. Gueye is there as well, comes back centrally for Ghana. Ghana into the box. Idrissa Gueye on the right. Idrissa Gueye's crossed to the back post. There's no one there in a blue shirt, and Dalot is able to allow it to bounce and actually bounce out of play with the spin. Took a bit of off spin, that, I think, and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it did. It was good play from Everton. The first real time and moment we've seen them string a couple of passes together in the attacking third. James Garner heavily involved. Idrissa Gueye running down the side of the penalty area, and it's just a really poor execution of a cross. He had numbers in there, someone flying in for that low one across the front. He had the cut back and completely messed up his cross.
Latest score in the Newcastle Exeter game, by the way, not long to go. Newcastle 14, Exeter 20, and it has finished Ospreys 31, Scarlets 9 in the United Rugby Championship. So final moments of Newcastle Exeter on Sports Extra, and actually the Women's Super League match between Manchester City and Tottenham is on Sports Extra later. Everton's team are playing right now against Aston Villa. No news of it, the score in that match. Manchester United won 2-0 at Bristol City in the early match in the Women's Super League. 20 minutes played here at Goodison Park. 1-0 Manchester United lead. It is Aston Villa 0, Everton 0. And Onana, long ball. Rashford heads it infield. It's nodded away by Branthwaite. Headed forward for Manchester United by McTominay. Comes back to Bruno Fernandes, who gets the ball down, clips it right-footed out here to Luke Shaw. Takes it down, Luke Shaw. Then to Garnacho, back to Shaw. Ashley Young was very tight on Garnacho there. Shaw's bringing it forward down the left flank though. Garnacho, Young dived in. Garnacho just touched the ball away from Young. He knew he was coming. And I mean, it was a mistimed challenge. It's a yellow card for Ashley Young.
Yeah, it's
debatable.
Yeah, I think it is a yellow card. It's one of those where Garnacho had a poor touch, and he just enticed Ashley Young in. Ashley Young thought, he's had a poor touch, I can go and win it. But Garnacho's speed of mind and speed of movement was still there. Yes, he had a poor touch. Ashley Young started to go for the tackle. Garnacho just got a toe there, and Young literally put him up in the air. It's an old school tackle.
Absolutely retract that. John Brooks hadn't got any alternative but to give a yellow card for that. Just too sharp, Garnacho.
Yeah, I mean, it's those moments where a defender thinks, oh, I've caused a mistake, I've caused him to have a little bit of lack of concentration, here's my opportunity. But Garnacho was still just a little bit too sharp there.
So those 19-year-old legs again against the 38-year-old legs. Bruno Fernandes with the free kick, then low in towards the near post, which is cleared away by Ashley Young. Comes out, headed back towards the edge of the area, but that header is won by the Everton captain on the field, Tarkowski. Then forward towards Doucouré, but Luke Shaw comfortably got there first and passes it back to Onana, and then makes himself available down in the full-back position. This is good from Manchester United so far in this match. Obviously the goal, but they knew very well what they were coming here to face, as Bruno Fernandes actually misses a header and it bounces out of play for a throw-in to Everton. But so far they look as though they've got it spot on.
Yeah, again, Luke Shaw really important there. His pace, his awareness of where Everton were trying to attack, just able to bring that experience and that calmness to what Manchester United are trying to do.
Tarkowski strokes a pass through the middle like Franz Beckenbauer. Drops Garner back into possession to give it back to the halfway line, and here's Tarkowski who turns it back towards the edge of the box. Good news for Everton to have Seamus Coleman back on the bench today. Leon, your old teammate.
Yeah, really good character, really good leader at the moment, and had a really tough injury to take at the end of last season. It took him an awful long time to get fit, but delighted to see him back within the squad. And
on the subject of substitutes, Joe Hugill is on the bench for Manchester United today, one of their youngsters yet to make his debut. Donny van de Beek is there as well, who's not on the Champions League list, as Menu is forced to concede a throw-in level with the edge of his own penalty area. He's around about 5'10", he's quite mobile. Kobbie Mainoo, born in Stockport, England under-19 international, and at the moment Doucouré is towering over him, shouts for handball. Harrison tries to get past Shaw but gets no change out of Luke Shaw, and then Mainoo might have been tripped down there. No, Harrison is able to win it back. McTominay's in. Oh, now then, McTominay stepped into the challenge there, and the question is what sort of contact there was on Ashley Young, and that didn't look like a very good challenge at all, and John Brooks is giving himself time here. I mean, Doucouré was Idrissa Gueye was in there as well, and VAR will be having a look at this. But it seemed to me as though McTominay stepped into that challenge.
Yeah, I don't think he knew that Ashley Young was who he was challenging. I think he thought he was challenging Idrissa Gueye. They were going toe to toe. He was just trying to put his foot in. Idrissa Gueye just stepped across McTominay. McTominay ends up kicking Idrissa Gueye, who then in turn stands on the foot or the Achilles of Ashley Young. So yeah, certainly not the challenge that McTominay thought he was taking. Definitely a free kick. Yeah. I don't think there's anything more than that.
No more than that. He caught the back of Idrissa Gueye's foot, didn't he? As he with the top of his foot as he came in. So Everton 0, Manchester United 1. 20 minutes of the first half to go. Free kick for Everton. Onana's not had a save to make yet. Ball played in by Garnacho, headed away by Kobbie Mainoo. Did very well to head that away. Mykolenko goes for goal from 25 yards, but lacked conviction there from the Ukrainian. Went for a curler, but it did not threaten the goal.
No, it didn't, and it was a really poor free kick. Everton need to show more quality in those areas, originally with the free kick and then with the effort from the edge of the penalty area. I can understand why Mykolenko attempted it. I think he scored 2 in the last 2 or maybe 3 games, so in a good bit of scoring form, certainly not there.
That's right. Mykolenko scored in the last 2 against Brighton and in the win at Crystal Palace, as the ball is called out on the far side, a throw-in for Everton near the Manchester United section. If you've been here to Goodison Park as a visiting supporter, you'll know very well that section of the Bullens Road stand, lower and upper. There is one Manchester United flag I can see in there, the red, white and black horizontal stripes. Here's Calvert-Lewin with the ball down in the United left-back area. Lindelof in with the challenge. It's out of play off Calvert-Lewin, and it's a throw-in to Manchester United. So Everton, with 4 points to their name now, went from 14 down to 4. 1-0 down here to Manchester United. The matches that they've got coming up in the immediate future: next Saturday away at Nottingham Forest, then home here to Newcastle, then Chelsea, and then Burnley away, Sean Dyche's old club. But the sooner the better they can start picking up points, because clearly they don't know what's going to happen with this appeal. Martial now inside his own half, turns and sets off, but is crowded out really as much as anything else. Martial, who's simply not been in the game so far.
No, he hasn't. I mean, that was him trying to show something, and you're right, he just ran down an alleyway that was very difficult. They haven't really gotten him into the game, but I think they've been quite comfortable on the whole, Manchester United. It's Everton who haven't really got going as an attacking force. They're not on the same page. There's people making runs that aren't getting picked out, sometimes not brave enough. And Manchester United are just seeing everything that Everton are doing.
And here is Martial, who is just leaned into from behind by Tarkowski and goes down on the halfway line. So it is a free kick, no more than that. But Martial, who I think actually might have just taken a bang amidships, as Christopher Martin Jenkins used to say. So it'll take him a little while to recover from that. He's okay, he's on his feet. We can clearly see his breath on the cold Merseyside air above his head, and a big breath it was as well. Maguire through to McTominay, now Bruno Fernandes out to the right hand side, where it's played back by Mainoo to Harry Maguire, who will just slip it back to Onana. A left-footed clearance from him towards the halfway line, headed forward by Ashley Young, bounces off the chest of Calvert-Lewin. It's like trampoline effect. Martial then lays it to Garnacho, and the goal scorer takes a run towards the edge of the box, but Branthwaite comes across, and there's a deflection there through to Jordan Pickford, who overarms it out quickly. Pickford to Harrison. Bruno Fernandes has to come across, but Harrison plays a low ball infield towards Calvert-Lewin, who tried to flick it forward, but it took a touch off Maguire, and Manchester United have got it back.
Well, that's the third time the ball's been played up to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's tried to flick it round the corner. He's got to hold the ball up. Everton don't really play in pockets of space. They don't play with number 10s. Harrison doesn't drift into those areas. He goes wide. McNeil on the other side goes wide. So when the ball is anywhere in those areas that Dominic Calvert-Lewin, it's his responsibility to get hold of the ball and bring others into play.
It has finished Newcastle 14, Exeter 20, and then Everton win a free kick. Challenge on Harrison, and Everton are not very happy about this. Doucouré and there's a yellow card for Doucouré for something he said. And you can hear that's added to the anger.
Well, what happened was the free kick was given. It was, it was just a run-of-the-mill free kick. But Bruno Fernandes kicked the ball away. Took a decent enough distance that Everton were incensed. Doucouré went to tell the referee that he's kicked the ball away and received the yellow card himself. So again, more frustration for the team in blue.
Sean Dyche is in strong discussions with Andy Madley, the fourth official, and it is a free kick to Everton. We saw Reece James yellow carded, and Raheem Sterling as well yesterday.
Yeah, it was actually Garnacho that kicked the ball away, but you're right, he knew what he was doing. He's kicked the ball away. Everton wanted to play quickly, weren't allowed and weren't able to. Felt the referee should have booked Garnacho for that, if keeping consistency and yet it was Decore who got the yellow.
Yeah, well, there's a lack of consistency there. Free kick, McNeil takes it in, left-footed from the right-hand side. That's headed away though for Manchester United. It's Luke Shaw who's actually right across there. Ball still in play. It's drilled across, but it's blocked out for a corner. Mainu receives the congratulations of Dalot for being alive to that and alert, but it is a corner to Everton in front of the Park stand. Absolutely packed. Many of the pink anti-Premier League placards are still being held up, I suppose, every time they know that the TV cameras will be anywhere near them. Here's the Everton corner, then in, headed goalwards by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but straight at Onana. Well, more or less straight at him, and he was able to catch it to his left and go down.
Yeah, best opportunity for Everton. Really good ball in. Man's probably on line with the front post, maybe 7 or 8 yards out. Dominic Calvert-Lewin meets it completely unmarked, really, in terms of how busy penalty areas can be. But he has to glance it over his right shoulder rather than able to come on with real power. Can't generate enough to beat the goalkeeper.
Foul on Tarkowski. Martial protests about that, and Garnacho makes a point of having the ball and actually dropping it down at his own feet. So free kick that Pickford takes, but it's over to Kouré, and Lindelof gets a hanging header out of play. There's a little ball. Well, there's a ball there on a little cone. It's not a little ball, it's the normal size ball. And Young gives it back to Tarkowski on the halfway line. Tarkowski flights it to the edge of the area, bounces down for Calvert-Lewin, shoots low, and then he makes the save. The follow-up is cleared off the line. McNeil very nearly forced it over the line, but it was cleared away brilliantly. That seemed almost certain that it would find a way over the line into the back of the Manchester United net, but it survived. Harrison again for Everton, but it's turned by Gay straight into the path of Garnacho, and he wins the throw-in for his team. But an absolutely crucial last-ditch clearance by Kobbie Mainoo.
Oh, it was outstanding by the youngster. Good play from Everton, direct to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The ball then falls to his feet. His effort is brilliantly saved, to be honest, but the goalkeeper, Onana, doesn't push it away. McNeil follows up. There's a mad ricochet between two United players, Onana and Maguire, and Trezeguet came sliding in. The whole stadium thought the ball was either going to trickle in to the back of the goal or Trezeguet would put it in. The only person who had other ideas was Kobbie Mainoo, getting back into that position, recovering for his team, saving his team a goal.
Well, he'll never forget that on his first Premier League start, but Everton come again, chance in the middle, oh, shot wide by Doucouré from 12 yards. That was a big chance. He holds his face. It's a goal kick to Manchester United, but Goodison Park is in full throat.
Yeah, it's much better from Everton. Good pressure on the ball, forcing Manchester United into mistakes, getting numbers in and around the person they're trying to close down, outnumbering Manchester United in certain areas of the field, and then once McNeil just passes it to the penalty spot, Dominic Calvert-Lewin went along the 6-yard box. Decore went to the penalty spot and he just opened his foot up and just sliced it really across past the far post. Onana was rooted. He wouldn't have gone there, wouldn't have been able to make the save had it been on target, but he missed the goal. 5 Live in the World Service. What an afternoon it is here at Goodison Park. Seen an outstanding goal from Alejandro Garnacho, and now in the past few minutes we've seen an example of why Everton are where they are in the statistics with all of the chances that they create. They've just really put together a string of opportunities but haven't been able to put the ball into the back of the net, as Manchester United have to head it away through Dalot. Everton take it back up. McNeil, left foot shot. Mainoo's there again, throwing himself into the path of it, and this time it's Dalot who comes across with a double low 5 for the 18-year-old. Corner. Yeah, and that's because it was Dalot who he was covering for. Dalot made a really poor header at the edge of his own penalty area, was nearly exposed. McNeil was sharp into that space behind him. Just when you thought McNeil pulling the trigger, 18 yards out with his left foot, Mainoo again, brilliant tackle.
Everton are cranking up the pressure here. Corner taken by Garner into the 6-yard box, but headed away by Dalot. Much better header that out of the penalty area. Young volleys it back out towards Garner, gets it under control, but as he did so it was closed down, blocked out of play by Bruno Fernandes, landing in the Everton fans in the lower tier of the Bullens Road. lines and lines of faces in there looking down on Pickford, who hits a long pass high towards the edge of the area, volleyed away by Rashford, looking for Martial, who wins the header, and he does find Garnacho, even though it's slightly behind the Argentine international. And now down the left to Rashford on the left wing now, cuts back, but as he did so, Doucouré was just able to check his body and stop Rashford from getting back onto the ball, and Everton have got it back. But again, to go back to that Menu goal line clearance, in fact we'll do that in a moment, because Rashford's just given it away, and Gay hits a long pass, this for Calvert-Lewin to chase against Lindelof and Maguire, after Lindelof was beaten, Maguire's able to get the ball down and away from the Everton number 9, and Manchester United pass it out to Menu on the edge of his own penalty area, who was under pressure there, and then Shaw draws the foul and gets it from Doucouré. Clever play from Shaw. Free kick, Manchester United.
Yeah, he just had a little look over his shoulder. He saw Doucouré was screaming into him and he just dummied it. Doucouré expected Luke Shaw to take the touch. He'd gone in to tackle Luke Shaw as if he'd already took the touch, because Luke Shaw just let it ball through his legs. Doucouré went right through him. Just takes the pressure off Manchester United, the pressure that Everton are slowly trying to build.
Yeah, just caught him on the shin maybe, or on the knee.
Yeah, there was a good counter-attack opportunity in there for Manchester United. Marcus Rashford just didn't seem to make his mind up what he wanted to do.
Well, really, Leon, that's very much summed up Rashford when we've seen him for the most part this season. So Harry Maguire wins a header on the halfway line. It is Everton 0, Manchester United 1. Garnacho's goal in the 3rd minute, and what a goal. See it somewhere, for goodness sake. You'll see it on Match of the Day 2 tonight on BBC One. Match of the Day 2, anytime on the iPlayer, pick it out. Women's Football Show will follow that tonight. You can read all about the day's football, the weekend's football, on the football pages of the BBC Sport website. You'll be able to talk about it on 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton once we are all wrapped up here on this 5 Live Premier League Sunday. And of course the Football Daily, the 5 Live Football Daily, every Monday morning, featuring Neda Manua. Here's Menu towards the edge of the penalty area, gives it to Rashford, who's back over on the right hand side, drags it back, plays it forward to Menu tried to cut it across, but Garner was there for Everton, 8 yards from his own goal, and Everton are able to clear eventually out of play for a throw-in nearer the halfway line. Yes, the Football Daily, subscribe from BBC Sounds, where of course, as I say, you can listen to all of our BBC radio offerings and the podcasts, including the new one which features Patrick Bamford. Just look for My Mate a Footballer for Patrick Bamford's view on the footballing world. Everton 0, Manchester United 1. Here's Fernandes, right-footed ball over the top. This for Rashford to chase. He gets the ball down. He's up against Mikalenko. Mikalenko just got a foot in. A double drag back from Rashford, but in the end loses out, and McNeil plays it forward to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin stretches out a right foot, brings it under control, but then runs it out of the pitch for a throw-in on the far side to Manchester United.
Yeah, he was just moving too fast there, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He didn't really think about slowing down to take the ball with him. And Everton have had a couple of moments where they're better with their first pass up to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Manchester United's both fullbacks are in really advanced positions, trying to attack, trying to create something themselves. Everton have just wasted the opportunity.
So Manchester United still lead through that bicycle kick, overhead kick, opening goal from Alejandro Garnacho. Harrison's fouled on the halfway line. It's now 14-14 incidentally in terms of goals scored in the Premier League by these two clubs this season. Referees saying that he wants the kick taken in the right place.
Yeah, but he's saying it was 10 yards further back than where it actually took place. I mean, we're pretty much on line with it here. We could see where the foul happened.
So he's actually saying he wants to take it in the wrong place.
Yeah, in the wrong place. So again, obviously the crowd not happy with that.
Pickford to take this then in the centre circle, actually in the Manchester United half. Takes it towards the edge of the box. Branthwaite's up for that, but Maguire stands up against him and sees it behind for a goal kick to Manchester United, who lead 1-0. Well, Ananas played his part with the saves that he's made. That very good low save from Calvert-Lewin. That was a super save actually, down to his left in the midst of the whole incident where Menu cleared off the line.
Yeah, it was full stretch to his left, and Maybe I was a touch critical that he didn't push it out of the danger area. He allowed, I think it was Dwight McNeil to follow up with another effort, but he was quickly on his feet for that one as well. So a really impressive double save in the end.
Everton's women still 0-0 with Aston Villa in the Super League. But also a 4:30 kick-off. Here's Calvert-Lewin for Everton, carrying the ball forward and to the right, and Calvert-Lewin then shooting into the back of Lindelof's calves. Comes out to Gay, square to Garner. Garner 30 yards out, rolls the pass to the right to Ashley Young. Ashley Young curls it across. Calvert-Lewin with a header, but over the top by maybe 3 feet from 10 yards out.
Yeah, I don't know if he jumped too early. He was up there and waiting and trying to hang, but that's a good play from Everton. That's what I expect to see. Trying to attack with a bit of fast play, it not working. Reverberating the ball, regenerating it, moving it into wide positions. Young, one touch at his feet, cross with his second touch. Maybe just watching again, maybe slightly behind him, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's trying to do everything with his neck to get it towards goal and just couldn't quite get it on target.
Yeah, it was a piece of real centre-forward play, wasn't it? Number 9 play. Got up to get his head to it, but couldn't keep it down. Not scored in the last 3 appearances. Calvert-Lewin, here he is again, but he's had chances in this game. Gets the ball down against Lindelof and Maguire, and then plays it square to Toure, and then it runs to Gay, who shoots over the angle of post and bar and into the park stand. As he was falling, he hit the shot, and that took it over the top.
Yeah, another big chance for Everton there. And that, when you're talking about centre-forward play moments ago, this was the best I've seen of Dominic Calvert-Lewin this season. He just got his body in front of Lindelof. He shrugged him off the ball. He took it past Maguire. He ran into the penalty area. He picked out a running teammate into the penalty area. The touch was decent from Decore. Idrissa Gueye took over, and his finish was woeful.
It was. So goal kick, and Manchester United come forward. 1-0 their lead. Everton, who will attack towards the noisy Gladys Street end in the second half. Still very much in this. They've actually come back into it very strongly. They've had enough chances easily to not only be level, but be in front.
Yeah, they have, and for better finishing, which has been the story for Everton all season. They could have scored more goals.
McNeil with a foul, just a little foul in centre field, and Rashford's gone down. Clearly the Everton fans here feel that he's gone down. It was Idrissa Gueye actually in with a challenge.
Yeah, there's not an awful lot in that. It is a foul, no question about it, but he stayed down. I thought he'd have been tackled in a worse manner than that.
He's up though, free kick taken. Dalot with a rather laboured step over, but here comes the cross, and it's reached Martial at the back post, who looks to play it in, but the offside flag has gone up. So it's a free kick to Everton. What about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Leon? This is his 10th start of the season. He obviously had all of those injury problems last season, just 15 starts in the whole of the campaign, which was such a big factor, wasn't it, in their struggles last season to be without a fit and informed Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You're obviously liking what you're seeing here today.
Yeah, I mean, within those 15 starts last season, I'd say, and I wouldn't say he was actually fit for any of them, to be honest, and it took him 2 or 3 games to get going once he came back this season as well. But yeah, he seems right up to speed. The goals will come if he plays the way he's playing, and if he's getting into the positions that he's getting into. You always want deliveries into certain areas, yes, for chances to come, but his all-round build-up play is crucial to this Everton team. The way they have runners from midfield, as you've just seen.
Yep, he's done well today, everything but the goal. Anana takes this free kick downfield. Ashley Young, left-footed, hooks it away towards the halfway line. Gareth Southgate did mention Calvert-Lewin's name a couple of times during the course of the recent internationals, when we were talking about players who could be the backup to Harry Kane. Ball bounces for Everton. Here's Garner, who turns and plays a left-footed ball, which Mikalenko will do well to keep in play, and he doesn't. He can't. It was McNeil, who played it out to him, and Mikalenko on the twist and the turn couldn't keep it in and throw into Manchester United.
Yeah, Dwight McNeil's not really featured positively enough in the game so far. Most of his moments have been trying to help defensively. He's not been decisive on the ball. He's not been positive enough on the ball, and that was what I think you were hearing. He ran 20 yards back towards his own goal before he attempted a forward pass there, Dwight McNeil.
Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes had to be quick onto that from Lindelof, and in fact 2 Everton men are on him, forcing him down towards the dead ball line, and he has to turn. Tried to win a throw-in actually off Doucouré, but didn't get any contact on him, so it's a throw-in to Everton, 10 yards back from the corner flag. Yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who plays like this, is certainly in contention. Ollie Watkins did score for Everton today, very good goal actually, you'll be able to see that as well. Match of the day 2 later to win the match for Aston Villa at Tottenham, and then Tarkowski slides in to put the ball out of play on the halfway line. Yeah, I'm sure at half-time, which is not too far away, 45 minutes are almost up, we'll hear more on Aston Villa's win at Tottenham. Finished Aberdeen 1, Rangers 1 as well in the early kick-off. I noticed that Bojan Miovski, who I was watching from Macedonia the other night, scored for Aberdeen this afternoon. And we will as well at half-time also have further reflections on the life and times of Terry Venables. The sad news today, the announcement of the death of the former England manager at the age of 80, and we will be hearing from Gary Lineker and also Darren Anderton, who played so effectively under Terry Venables as Manchester United, with Shaw playing it forward, and it finds its way to the goal scorer Garnacho. Garnacho turns, plays it forward onto the chest of Young, who had to be in there quickly. Young, who's already been yellow carded, but he just managed to block it away before he touch it away before he was blocked by Garnacho, and Young, and now Garnacho's just kicked the ball away, but not too far, not far enough for a yellow card for that. Might have had a yellow card for the challenge on Young, and the point they're making is that Young's already been booked for a challenge on Garnacho.
Yeah, absolutely, and then the referee wanted it again taken from a different place. It's been a difficult first half for the referee, just to make sure he keeps tempers and emotions in check.
Free kick taken by Pickford. McNeil plays it across, just lifts it forward. Calvert-Lewin gets his head to that, headed away for Manchester United. Gay on the edge of the box, but his touch not good enough, and Garnacho is able to volley it away downfield. We're in the second minute of added time, so only 30 seconds of the first half to play here. That's a foul on Harrison. Referee waves the advantage. It comes to nothing because Gay overhits the pass, and Everton, Tarkowski is saying surely you can take it back and give the free kick for the challenge on Harrison, and I think he's got a point.
Well, not only should it have been free kick, that one was a booking. You know, I've agreed that a number of challenges shouldn't be. Fernandes there knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't want that 1-2 played around him. He put Harrison in the air, and not only the referee not stop it, he also allowed an advantage that wasn't actually there. I'm just trying my best to give him a pat on the back, but he certainly didn't deserve one.
Well, Eric Ten Hag has just made his way up the steps here. He can't go to the dressing room, I think I'm right in saying, during the course of the 90 minutes, but he can communicate with his staff, Mitchell van der Gaag and the rest of the coaches, so I presume that's what he's gone to do. And at half-time, his team lead, the players heading off the pitch. I feel for John Brooks a little here, because he is effectively the representative of authority inside this ground, when Everton supporters have made it very plain what they feel about the authority of the Premier League. And Manchester United lead through as good a goal as you'll see in this or any other season from Garnacho early on in the match. They've had their chances, they've not been able to take them. Manchester United have defended well. So Leon Osman, what do you make of all that?
Well, I think Everton were hoping to come out of the traps, use this atmosphere to really get them going within the game, but that absolutely outstanding goal from Garnacho really knocked the stuffing out of what Everton did. It took them about 15-20 minutes to get going after that. When they did, they've started to create opportunities, started to put Manchester United on the back foot, but haven't taken one of the chances that's come their way.
So Everton 0, Manchester United 1. And must just mention that Everton are paying tribute to an Evertonian who has died recently, Dylan Kearns, whose name is on the big screen and his picture, and you can hear the respectful applause that there is inside Goodison.
Yes, absolutely. John, Leon, thank you very much, and our thoughts as well. We've been talking about Terry Venables, but Dylan Kearns as well, to to his family as well. Our thoughts are with you. It's been a very sad football day, of course, with the loss of Terry Venables today at the age of 80, and we'll continue to pay tribute to him over the course of the next 15 minutes or so, and then we'll be back to Goodison Park for second half commentary. What a goal from Alejandro Garnacho. To quote John Murray, see it somewhere for goodness sake. 08085 909 693. The lines are open now for 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. We will speak to Chris, and Darren Anderton is going to join us live on the programme as well, as I say, to talk more about the life of Terry Venables. All of that after the news with Nick Hatfield.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Steve. The Israeli government says a further 17 hostages have been released by Hamas and returned to Israel. The latest to be freed include 14 Israeli nationals and 3 foreign citizens. There are young children, teenagers and an 84-year-old woman among the group. 39 further Palestinian prisoners are due to be released as part of the deal, which involves a 4-day pause in fighting. Our security correspondent Gordon Carrera has the latest developments.
We are on the third day of it, with one more agreed day to go, which would be tomorrow, and then potentially we could see the fighting resume. So very soon from now, effectively. Now, there have been lots of people saying they would like to see an extension, that it's possible there's an extension. There have clearly been contacts, and the Qataris and the Egyptians seem to have been talking about that. And so it remains possible, but we've not really had a clear indication of what will happen yet. So I think given the way that this has progressed so far, it's often been last minute, there have been delays, there have been changes. I think it's hard to be sure, and we will just have to wait and see what the noises are like, and then whether things actually materialise.
And again, Gordon, today we've seen the release not just of the Israeli hostages, but each day as well there's been the release of foreign passport holders as well. That sits outside the parameters of the deal, and it tends to be confirmed at the last minute. What sort of discussions are going on behind the scenes that enable that to happen?
Yes, that's right. I mean, it's been interesting that every time we've had a number, sometimes 10, 3 or 4, in the last day or two, who've been released alongside it, not Israeli nationals, not technically part of that main deal, but clearly much easier to facilitate that departure at the same time. And it's a reminder really that there are many other countries involved in this and who've been pressing and negotiating for the release of their hostages, and they will have been also working through those mediators, the Qataris and the Egyptians, to try and get those hostages released. The US has also been very heavily involved in trying to get its hostages released. So a lot of different players involved in each of these releases and in the negotiations.
That's Gordon Carrera there, speaking to the BBC's Anna Foster. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been touring the Gaza Strip, where he spoke with Israeli soldiers and he told them nothing will stop us. And following the latest release of hostages, President Biden has been speaking, and he called for the pause in fighting to continue.
Under this deal, fighting in Gaza has now been paused for 3 days. Over that time, 58 hostages have been released, including a Thai, a Filipino, and Russian nationals. Dozens of families have been reunited. And we worked urgently to take advantage of the pause to surge aid into Gaza. We've moved approximately 200 aid trucks into Gaza each day, loaded with food, water, medicine, fuel, and cooking gas. More is needed, but this deal is delivering life-saving results. Critically needed aid is going in, and hostages are coming out. And this deal is structured so that it can be extended, to keep building on these results. That's my goal, that's our goal, to keep this pause going beyond tomorrow so that we can continue to see more hostages come out and surge more humanitarian relief into those who are in need in Gaza.
President Biden there, and one of those to be released was a 4-year-old Israeli-American girl, so he was talking about her as well. Of course, we'll bring you all the developments here on 5 Live as they happen through this evening. Just a few other things to tell you about. Tributes are being paid to the former England manager Terry Venables, who's died at the age of 80 after a long illness. Gary Lineker says he was vibrant, charming and witty, and Gareth Southgate describes him as a brilliant man who made people feel special. Venables, who also managed Spurs and Barcelona, will of course be best remembered for taking England to the semi-finals of Euro 96. And the Greek Prime Minister says he's hopeful the Parthenon sculptures known as the Elgin Marbles will be returned to Athens from the British Museum. Kyriakos Mitsotakis is in London, where he'll meet Rishi Sunak and Sir Keir Starmer.
On BBC iPlayer.
Now, what will we all?
Does it just get cold?
No.
Doctor, you can get the TARDIS back, can't you? Use the Sonic.
If the TARDIS is in danger, it goes away. And it only comes back once the danger is done.
There's something that's so bad the TARDIS ran away.
Egypt.
What are they? Doctor! Their time has come. Doctor Who continues next Saturday on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Half-time at Goodison Park in Everton's first game since that 10-point deduction. They trail to Manchester United by an amazing Alejandro Garnacho goal to 0, and earlier it finished Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. 08085 909 693, lines open now for 606 to talk about that, maybe to talk about Aberdeen 1, Rangers 1, or to pay tribute to Terry Venables, who has passed away today at the age of 80. Gary Lineker played under him at Barcelona and Tottenham and has paid this tribute.
I personally think he's the best English coach that we've had. I mean, I love Bobby Robson, and he was a wonderful manager, but he didn't have the innovation or the imagination of Terry when it actually came to the coaching side of things. And he was what England needed. Terry came in at a time when we did have good players, but he used them perfectly. And some of his tactics in the matches, particularly during Euro 96, were very thoughtful, imaginative, and he brought the best out, I think, of that England team. And they were incredibly unlucky not to have won that semi-final, and they would, I'm sure, have gone on to win the final if Germany hadn't beaten them in that penalty shootout. And it doesn't matter which player you speak to that's played for Terry, whether it was players probably, way back at Crystal Palace or QPR or Barcelona, all of them would speak incredibly highly of them, not just as a coach, but also as a human being and a lovely, lovely, fun man.
And the pictures of him consoling Gareth Southgate after that missed penalty allude to that, Gary. I wonder, I'm sure many people do as well, how his skill set would have translated to the modern game. Because you've used the word a couple of times already, innovative.
Oh, he would have been absolutely fine. In fact, he was a leader in terms of coaching. He was the sort of coach a little bit like Pep Guardiola. Obviously, he didn't quite have the success that Pep had, but the kind of football that he played, the high press, trying to keep possession. Obviously, it was much more difficult in that time because the playing surfaces weren't of the quality that they now are. But I would put him up there in terms of the way he would tactically think about the game. I had so many lunches with him, particularly in Barcelona, where it was the only time ever I had a kind of a friendship off the field with a manager. And we would just talk tactics and football. And he had a huge brain for that. He would have been absolutely comfortable in the modern game or any time in this sport, no question about that. And he was actually, if you think about his managerial career, which was successful anyway, obviously winning La Liga, winning the FA Cup with Tottenham, but he was 2 shootouts away. He would have had to win a final in the Euro 96, but he was 2 shootouts away from, pretty much football immortality. He would have been the first ever coach to have won the European Cup with Barcelona, and he would have been the first ever coach to win the Euros with England. So, he was a little bit unfortunate, and he was that close to being probably considered one of the greatest managers of all time. And I still think, personally, that he's the best England coach they had, and it was a shame that they didn't really work out a way to stick with him.
That's Gary Lineker speaking to Hugh Ferris. I've just seen this from Brian Robson as well, who coached alongside Venables with both England and Middlesbrough. He said Terry was a brilliant coach to work with. I learned so much from him. Very good tactically, but a great motivator and communicator too. My international playing career had come to an end when he took over as manager, but he brought me back as a coach. It was a brilliant experience at Euro 96. Then later, when I was Middlesbrough manager, we were going through a tough period. I wanted to bring in a top coach. I asked Terry. We made a great partnership. Everyone who worked with Terry will always remember him as someone who loved life and lived it with a smile on his face. Darren Anderson was a huge part of that England team that got to the semi-finals of Euro 96 under Terry Venables, and he's joined us now. Darren, thank you so much for being with us. It's such a sad day. But what would you like to say about Terry Venables? Who was he to you?
Wow, where do you start? I mean, honestly, he was like a father figure to me. Took me to Spurs as a youngster, 20 years of age, very naive young boy, really struggled in my early days at Spurs, but just gave me a belief that I belonged there. I mean, literally, he cared. He cared about everyone that he came in contact with. He was just, we're going to hear so many things about the coach and everything else, and the tactician and the man management. But as a human being, he was the best. He really was. I mean, I remember when I was struggling in those early days, as a youngster, and kept coming off and not playing well. I think I had a problem with my groin. I didn't really know what it was. And then we played Everton at home. We're losing 1-0 and I came off again. And, he just said, just go and have a bath. You're fine. And then I went down. I remember sat in the bath almost in tears, and he walked in. Game's still going on. And he just said, "Hey, what's wrong?" And I went, well, I don't know. I didn't really say anything. He went, "Hey, you're a kid. You're 20 years old. Gaz has done this, been through this. I bought you for next year. This is all a bonus. This is all just growing up. You're going to be absolutely fine. You are an incredible footballer. You're just a youngster. Don't even think about it." He goes, "Look, I think there's something wrong with your groin. We're going to send you off and go and see, Dr. Gilmore, and I'm sure everything will be fine." Then there was like a roar. You could hear a roar, and we had equalised. He didn't even flinch. He just carried on talking to me. Didn't go out. Didn't do anything, and he just give me a pat on the head. He went, "You're going to be a special player," and I never forget it. He didn't. The game was still going on, and that's what he's all about. Just an incredible human being. Later in the happier days when we were playing Holland, we beat Holland. I was in the lounge, having a drink with my mum and dad, and he just walked in and he tapped my dad on the shoulder. He went, I told you he'd be okay, didn't I?" And my dad just laughed away. He just lit up a room. He really did. He was just an incredible human being. Tactically, of course, the best manager I ever played for, best coach. But more importantly, I really did look up to him as a father figure. I always done many interviews over the years, and I said he was, a second dad to me. So, of course, today is very, very sad.
Before Euro 96, I remember the injuries that you had to deal with, and there must have been a time when you thought, goodness me, have I got any chance of being ready, of being fit? How much of a comfort was he to you during that period when you wouldn't have known that, that amazing tournament was going to happen for you?
He was an incredible comfort, and of course, I've spoke about my injuries on many, many occasions, but that was the one that really hit me the most because I knew I just got into the England team. The year before, I was doing great, for Spurs and England. Picked up the injury. The treatment I was getting wasn't great. I couldn't, kept every time someone asked, when are you going to be back? I kept saying 2 weeks, and it just never got better. He picked up the phone. He went, "How you doing?" He went, "Yeah, I'm doing good." He went, "Well, go. I'm going to come and see you, and then we'll go and see Dave Butler, the old Spurs coach who was now Spurs physio, who's now England physio. Let's go, let Dave have a little look." And I went and saw him. And I literally would go training at Spurs and then come back, go home, and then go over to Dave Butler's in the evenings. And he would take me out, we'd go running, go do treatment, all to try and get me ready for Euro 96, and it was incredible. And I was just very fortunate. But going through those dark times, I always had a belief that if Dave could get me fit, then I would be in Terry's team, and that was how it worked out. And so, of course, the best summer of my footballing career was all down to him. And just hearing Gary Lineker speak there about Terry, and that everybody who played under him loved him. And, I was very fortunate that he bought me for Spurs. And then when he was England manager, he gave me my England debut. And, of course, I'll always be forever grateful for that.
Darren, those are two wonderful stories. Thank you so much for being with us to tell them. And I'm so sorry for your loss as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Darren Anderton with us there on 5 Live. Right, we have just kicked off at Goodison Park in the second half, so let's rejoin John Murray.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, Everton 0, Manchester United 1. Second half underway, but what a fine tribute that was from Darren Anderton. Really, really touching stuff from a player who was so affected by Terry Venables, as McTominay hits a shot from 25 yards, but it flies away over the top of the crossbar. So 1-0 Manchester United lead here on this day of days at Goodison Park. We've had all of the protests against the Premier League after the 10-point deduction that Everton are facing. We've seen one of the goal of goals by Alejandro Garnacho, who has just received a knock, but he's getting to his feet, he's okay. The teams are as they started the match. Pickford in goal for Everton, Young, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Mikalenko, Garner, Doucouré and Gay, Harrison, Calvert-Lewin and McNeil, and Manchester United with Onana, Dalot, Maguire, Lindelof and the returning Luke Shaw, McTominay, Mainoo, who's caught the eye, the 18-year-old on his first league start, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Garnacho and Anthony Martial. And Manchester United, red shirts, black shorts, black socks here at Goodison against the home colours of the blue shirts and the white shorts and socks as Idrissa Gueye is tugged over by Bruno Fernandes. Free kick to Everton, 10 yards inside their own half, and the former Everton and England midfielder Leon Osman is watching with me. We'll hear from Leon in a moment, but a long ball played up towards Calvert-Lewin, who couldn't get his head to it, headed away by Maguire. So now Bruno Fernandes, the bearded Bruno Fernandes, is trotting forward with the ball and just rolls it a little touch to Diogo Dalot, who set up the opening goal, who goes back to Harry Maguire. So first word of the second half from Leon Osman.
The game's really not really got going in the second half to the tempo that we finished the first half. I'm sure that would have been a message from Erik ten Hag. Let's get this game back under control. We were in control of the game for the first 15 minutes. Mainoo was getting on possession of the ball. Dalot was running into great pockets of space. Let's not get ourselves caught in possession of the ball and give Everton opportunity. I think the message for Everton will be try and make the pitch as small as possible. Whenever they've made it a small pitch, whenever they've outnumbered Manchester United in certain areas, that's when they've looked their best.
Cold, dry afternoon, floodlights brightly on, shining down on the pitch here as Kobbie Mainoo, who's really caught the eye, plays the ball out towards the far side, headed out of play. Shaw back towards Mainoo, the number 37, who puts his foot on the ball, but that presents it to Harrison, and Everton have got it back inside their own half, just in front of their own penalty area. Passed forward, left-footed towards McNeil, and the number 7 turns and gives it back out to the right-hand side to Harrison, and the on-loan Leeds man is attacking now towards the Manchester United left-back area. He gets the crossover against Shaw, but too close to Onana, and the Manchester United goalkeeper, like a beacon down there in that yellow outfit, is able to catch the ball.
Yeah, crossed just a bit too close to the goalkeeper, but that was good intent really from Harrison. Got the ball, good crossfield switch from Dwight McNeil, trying to get involved in the game more, dropped his shoulder, putting crosses into the penalty area. Dominic Calvert-Lewin will clap him for those kind of moments.
5 Live and the World Service, Premier League live here on BBC Radio with Manchester United. Scott McTominay giving it back towards the halfway line, and now here is Rashford on the right hand side, played the most of this match on the right flank with goal man Garnacho on the other side. It was an amazing start to the match with the boos, the chorus of boos and the protests, and then a stunning goal by the 19-year-old as the ball's headed back by Garner to his goalkeeper Pickford. And if you were listening there to Darren Anderton's really quite emotional tribute to Terry Venables, there will be a special a 5 Live Football Daily special on the life and times of Terry Venables that you'll be able to hear from BBC Sounds, and I'm sure that contribution from Darren Anderton will be in it. And also, the lines are now open for the 606 phone in on 5 Live with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. 08085 909 693 for your thoughts and feelings on the weekend action, but also on Terry Venables as well, as Mykolenko takes the ball, plays it between the legs, I think, of Maguire, who went down. He lost it on the edge of the area. Maguire's now up on his feet in the blue boots, uses his left foot to give it to Rashford. Rashford up against Branthwaite, goes one way then the other, tried to play it through the legs of the Everton man, and actually challenge from Mykolenko came in as well. The players ended up down. McNeil brings it forward, but then a curling pass towards the edge of the area is easily dealt with by Manchester United. It's back to Maguire, who's effectively on the right wing, and Maguire just pulls the pass infield to Martial. Now Bruno Fernandes through the centre, back to Martial, who took a touch but then fell into the penalty area, and the referee is going to give that as a yellow card for diving for Martial, and that has received the ringing endorsement of Goodison Park.
Yeah, well, it was tough to see actually from as far away as we are, but the referee was right on hand. I thought he did look like he went to ground easy. Ashley Young, who was the closest player to him, did seem to pull himself away. I think it's that modern day way of that players go. I think Ashley Young has attempted to stick his foot out. I think Martial has seen that coming. I think he's left his leg there. I think he's felt the contact. I think from one angle this looks like a penalty. I think from another angle it looks like a dive. I think from the referee's angle, right behind it, that ankle, it certainly looks like he's gone to ground far too easy.
Well, he is. Yes, he is in the penalty area. Well, Ashley Young steps in. You know, there's a small step, but there is contact. There is contact,
yeah,
no
there's
question.
Definite contact.
But
yeah.
does Martial initiate that contact by placing his foot into Young's foot?
I think if they're checking that's probably going to be given as a penalty.
Okay.
I just think the fact that the referee gave the yellow card, they're now going to check it. I think it is inside the penalty area. I'm ticking off boxes in my mind. It's inside the penalty area. Ashley Young does stick his leg out. There is contact. It's probably the reason Martial goes to ground, although...
There's the decision. The decision is to call John Brooks, the referee, to the pitchside monitor, which is now being hoisted up into position so you can look at this. But I think we know what's coming next. And I think Manchester United can prepare for the penalty. I think Bruno Fernandes can begin to get his mind sorted out here, because this will be a surprise if Chris Kavanagh is the video assistant referee who took charge of the Manchester City Liverpool match yesterday, and you would think that the advice is that they feel in the VAR room that this is a penalty. I mean, I'm sure Manchester United fans will be following this. If they're watching this around the world, Manchester United fans will think that is a stonewall penalty.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I mean,
I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that, though, I feel.
Yeah, I still feel that Anthony Martial's seeing the contact coming. I'd say that's good, clever centre-forward play. He's seen where the contact's coming from. He's made sure.
Here we go, Leon.
He's left his leg out there.
John Brooks walking away, waiting to get onto the field, and he's going to rule out that yellow card. And I think we know what's going to come next. There's the rectangle in the air. There is the point into the penalty spot. There's the cheer from the Manchester United supporters. And here now as well, it's an opportunity for the Everton supporters to get those anti-Premier League pink placards out again, because you know how they feel about this. I think it's a case of they've all got it in for us. And Harry Maguire has gone across towards the referee. Jordan Pickford is being sent back.
Well, I think you can hear the reaction from the crowd as well. They've just showed it on the big screen. I think the feeling is it's not enough to have been overturned. I mean, you know, when you get frustrated about things, yes, there is contact, but is it enough to overturn the VAR? That's what all the big talking is, and there's a huge feeling around this stadium and this club that everything seems to go against this club at the moment, and you can see that with the placards that are being shown as Marcus Rashford's about to take this penalty kick.
Interesting, not Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, who scored 2 penalties for Manchester United this season. Instead, the man who scored just once for Manchester United in the whole of this season so far. And here we are on the 26th of November, and Manchester United are saying to Marcus Rashford, right, here's your moment, here's your time from the penalty spot at Goodison Park to give your team a 2-0 lead. Up he comes, a little hesitation, and then high into the net above his England teammate Jordan Pickford, who dived the right way, but it was way above him. Super penalty from Rashford, and it's Everton 0, Manchester United 2, and Marcus Rashford finally has his second Manchester United goal of this season.
Yeah, great execution. Jordan Pickford goes the right way, but the power of it, the height of it, just didn't really give him an opportunity. Marcus Rashford been below par again, I'd say, in his performance in the game, but that won't matter now. He's got himself a goal. That'll breed confidence, which he needs. He needs to bring that confidence to his game, and that goal should bring it.
Yeah, he did get the goal against Italy at Wembley for England, but in what is his 17th appearance for Manchester United in all competitions this season, there we are. He doubles his tally. And a very good penalty it was. They went away, they celebrated in front of the Manchester United fans, but it all adds to the feeling of conspiracy in the home sections of this ground that was given as a penalty against them. I mean, it's a highly debatable one. As I say, Manchester United fans, I'm sure, will feel it's a definite penalty, but the question is whether Martial actually drew the foul and whether he put his foot into Ashley Young's. But you feel, Leon, that there was enough of a movement from Ashley Young?
I just feel that, you know, when you feel that things are going against you, that Everton do at the moment.
Well, Gay now for Everton with a shot that Onana goes to his right and does well. That was bound for the top corner from the angle on the edge of the area. Saved, corner.
Oh, that's a brilliant save. Exactly what he needed to do for his team at the moment, just to keep them ahead. Bouncing ball, just falls to Idrissa Gana Gueye. Little touch out of his feet and a volley. It's gone right in the top corner. For Everton feel if that wouldn't have been given as a booking, then I don't think the VAR would have intervened. I think had the referee just played on, the VAR would never have brought that back for a penalty kick, and I think they're the things that seem to just keep stacking up.
Yep. Never rains but it pours. 2-0 then. Here's the corner, which is taken in by Garner, but punched away by Onana, who, having been a real doubt for this game with injury initially, although I think Erik ten Hag pretty much said on Friday that he would be playing in the game. He's playing an important part, and now the ball into the penalty area. There's a feeling that Tarkowski might have been pulled there by either Lindelof. I think it was Lindelof and Maguire, the two of them were there. Ball still inside the penalty area. Then Gay goes in with a challenge. It bounces for Rashford. Rashford's pass downfield goes straight into the path of Mikalenko, and the Everton left back gives it to Dwight McNeil. McNeil started his career at Manchester United, goes back to Mikalenko, who plays it all the way back to Jordan Pickford. So Everton 0, Manchester United 2, and Everton have got a huge task on their hands here, and they'll need better than that. Jordan Pickford apologises for the pass downfield, which gave McNeil no chance, and just drifts past him and out for a throw-in to the visitors. Erik ten Hag's side. He's banned from the touchline. He's got his grey Mancunian cloth cap on his head on this cold afternoon, and from the front row of the director's box down there, this is exactly what he wanted at the start of this run of 3 consecutive away games. Their Champions League is on the line in midweek in Turkey, but here this victory that would be a 5th in their last 6 matches in the Premier League, and would take them up to 6th in the table. Crisis club Manchester United, as Everton go back into their own half and then play it infield towards Tarkowski, who hits a long right-footed ball. That's asking a lot of Harrison, and it will be watched by Luke Shaw over the dead ball line for a goal kick.
Yeah, going back to that Manchester United second goal, I think a lot of credit actually was to Harry Maguire, who tried to get his team forward by making a positive run forward and give the ball away, but he stayed in a really attacking position, got it back, played a lovely ball forward into Bruno Fernandes to set up the attack, and he's had an impressive couple of months for Manchester United, Maguire, after what had been a very difficult time.
Yes, he has. Luke Shaw just playing the ball out of play, and actually with this scoreline, Leon, Manchester United will be 6 points behind the leaders Arsenal. Throw-in taken for Everton. Still, it's not over yet. Still got half an hour to play here. And Ashley Young on the right-hand side gets his head down, gets the cross in. Doucouré challenge for it, comes out. Mikalenko with a shot, which he's pulled through a crowd of players, and it bounces into the advertising hoardings behind for a goal kick. From our position here, he shot straight down the line of the pillar that holds up the roof
that, could we?
And the ball just disappeared.
I think there was a half chance and a half opportunity. I think he hit it at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who maybe could have directed that towards goal, but he just missed his kick as that ball went right through him, swiped and missed it. Chance gone.
Everton's men losing, Everton's women winning. Aston Villa 0, Everton 1, the latest score in the 4:30 kickoff in the Women's Super League. And commentary to come on Sports Extra on the Manchester City Tottenham WSL match, which is on Sports Extra from 6:45. Aston Villa have equalised. Rachel Daly's made it 1-1. Aston Villa 1, Everton 1. Everton 0, Manchester United 2 is the match here, the commentary match, our second Premier League commentary of the day after Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2. These are the matches you'll be talking about on 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 08085 909 693. And as I say, I'm sure they would love to hear your Terry Venables memories. You can book your call on 85058 or on social media, hashtag BBC 606. Here's Harrison, Everton in a hole here, 2-0 down. Harrison playing it to the edge of the area, cleared away easily, straight into the path of Lindelof. Rashford's on the run. Rashford now, he's been chased by Idrissa Gueye. Tarkowski's out there as well, and Tarkowski in the full-back position is able to take the ball off his toe and put it behind for a corner.
Well, that's better from Marcus Rashford. I mean, I haven't seen that kind of positivity from him for a long time. That goal certainly gave him some back. He didn't think about turning back. He didn't think about looking for a teammate. He just thought about how quickly can I get forward and cause Everton and Tarkowski in particular some real trouble. Forced his team a corner.
An interesting question, won't it? You know, when the decision was made that Rashford would be the penalty taker in this match. It's a corner. Manchester United taking their time over this, which Everton are pointing out. But it's Luke Shaw is being applauded rapturously by the Manchester United fans as he takes this outswinger, which is headed away. Maguire was after it, comes out to Bruno Fernandes on the left hand side. Bruno Fernandes, Shaw makes a run. Bruno Fernandes clips it in. That's headed away by Calvert-Lewin. He had a number of those chances Everton had in the first half when it was only 1-0. An absolutely crucial clearance off the line by this young man, Kobbie Mainoo, who's done very well on his full Premier League debut. Playing it now to Rashford, crosses from the right. That's headed away. Shaw nods it further. Mainoo jumps for it. Bounces out to Rashford. Rashford does really well in between Doucouré and Gueye. Then Rashford gets it back. Step over. Up against Mykolenko to the byline. Mykolenko goes to ground and slides it behind for a corner.
But again, positive from Marcus Rashford. He just looks a different player since the ball hit the back of the goal for his penalty kick. He's been on the left-hand side. He's demanded the ball. And he's tried to get at Everton's full-backs and centre-halves as soon as he's got the ball.
Well defended from the Ukrainian. Corner for Manchester United from the right, who are in control here, leading by 2-0. Bruno Fernandes raises his right arm, then the ball comes across, diving header away, a little bit like Andy Gray all those years ago in the famous goal that was in the Manchester United match of the day opening credits. Bounces forward, Bruno Fernandes takes it into the area, but Branthwaite comes across and blocks it behind for another corner for Manchester United from the right. Corner. Once we see what happens here, we'll cross to Spain, to Russell Fuller, who's been watching the Davis Cup final between Italy and Australia.
That was a big chance for Manchester United, John. I mean, he was running into the penalty area unmarked. Bruno Fernandes, it took too long.
Corner taken short. Rashford now into the area. Dalot chips it right across the box, and then Garnacho. Well, you can't have two in one day. He set himself, went for the scything volley, but sliced it way up and over everyone beyond the far post goal kick.
And that was a much easier technique that he was just using there to the one he used to score his goal, and yet got one of them perfectly, the more difficult one, and completely messed the other one up.
So let's find out what's happening in the Davis Cup. Italy against Australia. Russell Fuller.
Poor old Alexei Popyrin of Australia. He had all 8 break points in the deciding set against Matteo Arnaldi of Italy, but he's lost it. So if Yannick Sinner beats Alex de Minaur, then Italy are Davis Cup champions.
OK, we'll keep you posted on that as Dalot wins the ball back on the edge of the area. And the Checkered Flag podcast, by the way, has all of the news on the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. As Everton break forward. Here's Tarkowski to Harrison. Harrison back across, Maguire's in there, and Maguire gets a crucial touch with Calvert-Lewin behind him. And Onana's able to spring forward and catch the ball, and Maguire applauds probably applauds himself.
Yeah, probably, and he should. It was clever defended from Maguire. Everton nearly got in behind Manchester United, but as Harrison just tried to cross that ball, it was slightly behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It was coming straight to Maguire, and rather than panic and try and swing at it, he just allowed it to hit his thigh. It took all the pace out of the cross, and his goalkeeper gladly brought it into his hands.
Yeah, Rashford maybe trying to be too clever possibly on the halfway line, lost possession, and Manchester United have to defend again. But only 25 minutes left in this match. Feels like, with the situation that they're in, with the 10-point deduction, every match so important. Certainly every match here at Goodison Park, where Everton have won just once in the league here this season. This would be their 5th home defeat in the Premier League this campaign. Here's Branthwaite. It just seemed to be quite a strong feeling that Everton would win this game today, with the backing that they would get, which they have had. But Manchester United have just been too cute for them, as Tarkowski hits a long pass, but Onana's going to come across and take that, and he's been a big part in it. The saves that Onana has made, that latest save from Idrissa Gueye.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm trying to use the word. They've been cute. They've been good in the important moments of the game. What are you going to do? You're going to come to a very intense Goodison Park. We're going to try and take the sting out of the game. Well, they did that with that outstanding goal in the first 3 minutes, and Everton took 20-25 minutes to get going, and then started the second half when the half-time whistle stopped Everton's momentum. Since half-time, Manchester United are the team that started quicker in the second half, scoring that goal again, putting Everton on the back foot at crucial moments in time when Everton have got forward. The goalkeepers made big moments as well.
That's Leon Osman with us here at Goodison Park on 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. Another former Evertonian will be on the Monday Night Club tomorrow night. Conor Cody back on 5 Live again. Leon,
does he take a day off?
He'll be after you before you know it. Just watch out for him. So he's on the Monday Night Club with Mark Chapman. Chris Sutton and Rory Smith will have updates on Fulham against Wolves as well, as Ashley Young on the right for Everton swings it into the near post. Calvert-Lewin went for it, defender as well. Lindelof got a crucial touch on that, deflected, well defended by Lindelof. Corner Everton.
Great header from Lindelof. He's getting high fives again from his teammates. Well, that's as simple as the football needs to be from Everton. Good few passes in midfield, create a little bit of space in wide areas, get it out to Ashley Young, one touch, deliver the ball into the penalty area. Everton had 3, maybe 4 players attacking good areas, but it was a brilliant header from Lindelof.
I think Manchester United are preparing at least one player to come on. Amrabat's getting himself ready. Corner then for Everton, taken. Onana's come and punched it and missed it. I think the defender was there as well, perhaps got a touch on that. The ball went up into the air. That could have gone anywhere. Wow. He was very lucky that the ball just deflected up above his head and he was able to catch it.
Wow, very lucky. I mean, I'm not quite sure he knows how he's done what he's just done. He's gone to punch it two-handed, and he's punched it straight up into the air with backspin on it. It went about 3, maybe 4 foot above his head, and then he just gobbled it back up. I'm not entirely sure how he's managed to do what he did, but he'll be grateful he did.
Everton 0, Manchester United 2. Well, we've seen a number of things today, Leon, that I'm not sure I've ever seen before.
Yeah, no,
that was just one
again.
of them.
No chance.
Do that again. I'm not sure Garnacho could do what he did again. As Harrison now for Everton, who are coming on strong. Doucouré at the back post after it deflected across to him, but hits the shot into the backside, I think, of Dalot, and it deflected wide for another Everton corner. A little bit like the first half. Everton, having conceded a goal early on in the 45 minutes, are now coming on strong in the latter part. But the question is whether they're actually going to be able to take some of their chances. If they get a goal back in this to make it 2-1, you would not rule out a rousing finish. Pellistri and Amrabat are the Manchester United players who are going to come on. Pellistri is another one who's been on that injured list. Corner then, and it looks as though it's just going to be dropped in to the 6-yard box, because it is very, very congested in there. Red shirts, blue shirts all around. Referee Brooks has just had a word with everybody. Not that that'll make any difference. And here is the delivery to the back post, which is headed away by Dalot. Comes out for Everton. It's played back by Mikalenko to Young, who just lifts a high one forward, rather hopeful. And then Bruno Fernandes in the challenge wins that challenge. Ball bounces. He hits it downfield. and that is looked after by Ashley Young. Everton inside their own half with the ball. Yes, on Monday Night Club 5 Live tomorrow night. Also, Win the Headlines continues in the morning in breakfast from 6. One of the prizes eventually will be tickets to the Euro 2024 final when that comes around. Lindelof on Calvert-Lewin. The Everton fans feel that Lindelof was fouling the Everton number 9. No free kick given. Rashford, and now Bruno Fernandes, a flick. Bruno Fernandes can't take it on, but it's played forward by Lindelof to Rashford. Rashford whips the ball right across, and Garnacho arriving at the back post on the stretch in the 6-yard box can only direct it into the side netting, but he was at full tilt.
Oh, that was a pacey attack from Manchester United. Good bit of interplay. Third man running. Marcus Rashford set off, hoping a teammate had put the ball in his path. One of them did, and he had support. He fired it across at Everton goal mouth. It ended up 3 yards outside the far post, 3 yards from the touchline. Garnacho was all out full stretch, just couldn't quite do enough to get it on target. But when United attack like that with real pace, they're dangerous.
Right, the double change, Leon. Menu and Garnacho are the two to be taken off, with Amrabat and Pellistri coming on. So that's it for Alejandro Garnacho on a day in his career that he'll never forget. The 19-year-old scoring. Well, if he scores a better goal than that in his career, I'd like to be there to see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure he ever will. I mean, no matter how much he tries, and he'll be really pleased with his contribution. Talk about having big moments in the game, helping your team win games. That's certainly what he did with that start. It's been really intense atmosphere, and he, in that single moment, quietened everybody down. And the young lad Menu in the middle of the pitch, he'll be really pleased with his full debut, getting on the ball, making things tick, right in the heart of the field, right where it's most congested. He was the calming influence for Manchester United in that 70 minutes.
Sorry, Leon. Sean Dyche makes a couple of changes as well at the same point, and straight swaps. Danjuma coming on for McNeil, and Nathan Patterson coming on for Ashley Young.
Yeah, no real surprise about them either. I don't think Dwight McNeil's been up to his usual standards today. Ashley Young on a yellow card. No surprise to see him changed.
And also he's had a real test against Garnacho. Rashford at times, as Lindelof leaning forward in the way that he does. Lindelof, who scored the winner in the previous match. It's listening to Ian Dennis with a commentary. The Manchester United win against Luton Town. So Manchester United, with this scoreline, leading by 2-0. Manchester United will have won 5 out of 6 Premier League matches. Throw in for Manchester United. Luke Shaw to take it. That's a big positive for Manchester United today, the fact that he's back after 3 months out. Big positive for England and Gareth Southgate as well. Amrabat then gives it away in centre field, and Everton have got it back inside their own half. Up towards Calvert-Lewin, who slips, bounced up and hit his hand, and he slipped over. So Manchester United playing it forward through the middle, but Branthwaite's able to calmly take possession there, and Everton have got it inside their own half. Back to Branthwaite. It goes. Long left-footed pass from Branthwaite. That's looking for Danjuma. That was a super pass into his path. Defenders there as well. Dalot defended it well. Watched the bounce, stepped in, and then passes it away here to Pellistri on the right-hand side. And the Uruguayan gives it back to Dalot, who clears long to the halfway line. Just over 15 minutes to play. Everton 0, Manchester United 2. And more Everton groans as Martial, who won the penalty, turns and plays the ball forward down the right to Pellistri. Dark-haired Uruguayan infield towards Fernandes through the middle of Martial. Lovely touch, lovely finish. Martial on the score sheet for Manchester United here at Goodison Park to make it 3-0. Manchester United supporters delighted in the corner, but around Goodison Park, great disappointment. Some now beginning to head immediately for the exits on a day when they've made their feelings very clear about the Premier League's 10-point deduction. They've not been able to do anything about Manchester United. Everton 0, Manchester United 3.
Oh, that is a superb Manchester United goal, right from Anthony Martial picking the ball up on the halfway line and playing Pellistri in down that right-hand side. Everton were exposed again. Every time Manchester United have had that Everton backline stretch, they've caused problems. Pellistri up against Branthwaite, knows he's not going to beat him for pace or for power, cuts inside, picks out Bruno Fernandes. He in turn just gets turned, first touch, takes the ball on his back foot Everton's centre-halves are stretched. Anthony Martial spotted it. He ran into the space, played in by Bruno Fernandes. One touch, roughly on the penalty spot, with the outside of his right foot. Second touch, just flicked it over Jordan Pickford as he came rushing out. Keeper can do nothing. Everton are looking around at each other, those Everton players, but Manchester United cut them to pieces.
Everton 0, Manchester United 3, and Anthony Martial took it beautifully. His first Premier League goal of this season. And with that, Manchester United are going to say, Luke Shaw, on your return, that's enough from you, with 15 minutes to play. And Wan-Bissaka, who missed the last match with illness, he comes on, which means that Dalot moves across to left back. But all things told, to be winning 3-0 here today, Manchester United, to have Luke Shaw back and playing 75 minutes of the match, the world looks a much brighter place for Manchester United, even if it looks rather bleak for Everton right now. But it's been a good day for United and Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, I think even the most hardened Manchester United fans will have expected to come here and win, maybe. But certainly the ease that they've sort of had the game, 3-0, comfortable, moved the ball really well, rotated players, got people back fresh, had a couple of young players play outstandingly well in an intense atmosphere. Erik ten Hag not even on the sideline today, watching from the stands. He'll be delighted with his team's performance.
3-0 Manchester United lead. Garnacho's early goal, Rashford's penalty, and that delightful finish, really, a little dink from Martial. Here's Mikalenko shooting against the angle of post and bar, and it stays out. And Anna was beaten there, but it hit the crossbar very close to where it meets the post and bounced away out of play on the far side.
That's the best I've seen, I think, from Everton, certainly in the second half, just of inventiveness and creativeness. Just an underlapping run from Mikalenko. Danjuma cutting inside, dropping his shoulder, just runners off the ball. It always disrupts opposition's defence if you can be on the move.
Little dink forward by Danjuma, but Manchester United clear away on the edge of their own penalty area. And it's the Manchester United songs you can sing, that you can hear being sung away over on the far side of the pitch. That big Manchester United flag has appeared in the hoardings at the front of the top tier of the stand, with Marcus Rashford's name written across it. Here's Wan-Bissaka coming on as a substitute on what is his 26th birthday today. Wan-Bissaka. Amrabat deflects this ball out of play for a throw into Everton on the left. You mentioned it, Leon, but Kobbie Mainoo playing most of the match before Amrabat came onto the field. We did wonder why Amrabat was not selected and Mainoo was in the team, but I think we found out, didn't we, with the way that he played. We can talk about that in a moment, because here's Patterson down the right hand side for Everton, playing the ball back towards Harrison, who's behind him, and then Harrison infield, the touch from Garner, he's given it away, he's passed it straight to Rashford, who couldn't take advantage, and Everton have it back. But Kobbie Mainoo's contribution today.
Yeah, I mean, I wondered where exactly they were going to trust him into play. He played in that holding role right in front of the defence, covering in front of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, becoming part of a back three at times, but getting on the ball.
Patterson plays it into the penalty area, but in front of Calvert-Lewin, and Onana's able just to take a touch and then pick it up.
Yeah, getting on the ball in, as I mentioned, an atmosphere that makes people nervous when they're on the pitch. It makes the pitch seem smaller. Everton were trying to rush around the feet of the young man, but he played with his head up. He had a real awareness about what was around him. Manchester United can keep playing him, getting a bit more experience. He showed some really good signs today.
Nice pass from Maguire from the back, but Bruno Fernandes' touch gave it away. And now here's Doucouré over towards the left corner of the box. Left-footed ball right across the penalty area beyond Harrison, who's going to do well to keep this in. He can't keep it in, and he just runs up and stops himself in front of the hoardings.
Yeah, it's those moments, though, where Manchester United have been better than Everton today. When you get into the final third, when you get to the moment of creating an opportunity. Bruno Fernandes has passed the Harry Maguire pass that sets up the chance. Everton have just been a little bit sloppy in either those moments or the actual finishing moments. They haven't finished as well as Manchester United have.
Everton 0, Manchester United 3. So we will be with Manchester United in Turkey on Wednesday. Just to mark your card, that is an early kick-off on Wednesday. Here's Harrison in the box. Harrison challenged by Fernandes, bounces back out of the box. Harrison and Gay get in each other's way, and then Mikalenko has Pellistri nibbling away at him, and then Danjuma with Pellistri and Wan-Bissaka. You know, that sums it up there. Manchester United, Pellistri and Wan-Bissaka, even though they're 3-0 up in this match, those are the standards. That's what the Manchester United supporters want to see.
And that's what you have to have. You can't be playing at a certain standards at certain moments in the game and letting them drop if you're comfortably ahead, or in any game. If you're going to have a successful season, the demands from each other have to be at the very top.
Bruno Fernandes passing it forward, looking for Martial. That'll do his confidence the world of good, but it bounces back for Everton. Doucouré's pass couldn't find Danjuma. Wan-Bissaka cleared it, comes out to Garnacho, controls it, but then shoots wildly as McTominay dives in front of him, and that was wide and over, and we will see another change, and that's it for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think that is an acceptance now in this match that it will not be Everton's day here today. Dominic Calvert-Lewin being saved for the greater challenges that will come, and the young Portuguese Youssef Chermiti will get only his 7th appearance of the season, the teenager, the number 28 up front, but Calvert-Lewin, they're going to need him, obviously.
Yeah, so with his injury record, you don't want to run him into the ground, but that last little bit of play from Everton summed up, I think, the way they've sort of finished attacks today. Doucouré had a great chance to slip the ball on the side of Manchester United centre-halves for Ian Rush and Dominic Calvert-Lewin to finish. He made a really poor pass, then the ball came out. James Garner shot from distance when he was off balance. A really poor decision just in that final third.
Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes finding the pass to Pellistri just outside the D. Little ball in towards Martial on the edge of the area, then back to Bruno Fernandes, who is being put under pressure by Garner. So Manchester United have to work it to the right. Fernandes and Pellistri, and then back to Pellistri. Gay chasing him. Pellistri pulls it across, but no pace on that, and it should be cleared by Everton. Well, it is, but it only cleared to Wan-Bissaka. It's just outside the corner of the box. Wan-Bissaka, ponytail bobbing. Now to Pellistri, who goes down rather theatrically in a challenge from Mikolenko, but wins a free kick nevertheless. So we've got just over 6 minutes to play. Lines are open for 606. You can talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton tonight, or indeed almost every Saturday and Sunday night on the 5 Live football phone in 08085 909 693. I'm sure you'll want to talk about the penalty, that crucial penalty that was awarded to Manchester United, scored by Rashford, that made it 2-0. It does feel like that was the pivotal moment of this match. And of course, if you just switched on, they will be very keen to hear stories and tales and memories of Terry Venables. So 08085 909 693. Free kick then. Bruno Fernandes plays it in. Lindelof was after it, but it was headed away for Everton. And then Chermiti was able to nod it further away. Amrabat back towards the edge of the area, and the offside flag goes up, and it's a free kick to Everton. So join us this week when we will be out and about in the Champions League. On Tuesday night we will be in Paris for PSG against Newcastle. That's live from the Parc des Princes. Then Galatasaray Manchester United on Wednesday night at 5:45, followed by Arsenal against Lens at 8 o'clock from the Emirates. We'll have all of the matches covered, all of the busy midweek, but those are our Champions League commentaries, and 5 Live, the only place you will hear all of that from inside all of the stadiums. And Manchester United making another change. The instructions, if indeed they have come down from on high from Eric Ten Hag. Hannibal Mejbri is able to come on, the Tunisian international, and Onana, the Manchester United goalkeeper, has the ball in his hands and plays it out towards the left-hand side, and Dalot is off on a run. It was Dalot who set up that thrilling opening goal for Garnacho, and Dalot plays this across to Pellistri, and on his left foot Pellistri shoots, but Pickford's able to go down to his left and just stun it and collect it as he got to his feet.
Yeah, in those moments Manchester United just found it easier to create shooting opportunities against Everton. A bit of a tame shot, as shots go with what we've seen today. Easy as enough save for Jordan Pickford.
Everton with it on the right hand side, 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes and a little bit more than that before we will cross to 6:06. But Everton now into the penalty area, but Onana slides out and is able to take the ball into his body. played an important part, the Manchester United goalkeeper today. This will be a valuable clean sheet if it is to be a clean sheet.
Yeah, I was a bit critical of him in the first half for getting caught in possession or kicking the ball out and allowing Everton to gather a bit of momentum. But in the crucial moments, you need your goalkeeper to make saves, and when he's been called upon to keep his team ahead in the game, he's made those crucial saves, and that's the most important thing your goalkeeper can do for you.
And Leon Medjbri coming on for Anthony Martial, who, you know, he's easily criticised, isn't he, by Manchester United supporters, but he's played a big part today. And here is Danjuma on the left-hand side for Everton, but Wan-Bissaka dives in with a challenge and actually plays it into Danjuma and through for a goal kick. But Anthony Martial,
yeah, he divides opinion, doesn't he? Anthony,
well, I'm not sure if he does divide opinion.
Well, it may be Anthony Martial, but this has been one of his better games. He's, as I say, he's been involved. His passing was good, getting turned, got brought down for the penalty kick for the second goal, and then scored the third goal. So he'll be pleased with his afternoon. And Hannibal's come on, and he's gone on that left-hand side. Marcus Rashford has taken the place that Martial was occupying right through the middle.
3-0 Manchester United lead. So much was hoped and promised by Everton. The ball's played in. Lindelof does well, got his head to it. Danjuma again on the left-hand side, his cross, but Maguire is there. He heads it away. Danjuma gets that all wrong and actually volleys it back to Mykolenko, who's halfway inside the half, who did well just to find Tarkowski in the centre circle. Here is Mykolenko again. Mykolenko getting it back, playing it infield, and Garner, red shirts in front of him, two lines of red shirts. That's what Manchester United want now here, that clean sheet to add to the 3 goals and the 3 points. It's cleared away. Tarkowski gets a touch on that, but Hannibal Medjbri is dispossessed by Patterson. Idrissa Gueye out to the right-hand side. He gets it down, pass forward towards Doucouré, who's got space there over on the right-hand side, and then infield towards Gueye, and now Garner, who might have shot there, but he turned onto his left foot. He's back onto his right and then shoots into the midriff of Maguire, and it bounces away for Manchester United with the deflection. Bruno Fernandes plays it to Rashford. Rashford's now got space. Tarkowski tries to come across and gets a foot to it, and that was not too far away from actually being deflected into his own net. Instead it rolls 3 feet wide for a corner.
Yeah, again, decision making. James Garner had an opportunity, the ball sat perfectly for him to shoot. He decided not to, tried to twist, turn, then he shot when he was off balance, and in doing so Everton left themselves completely exposed, and it was a real outstretched leg of Tarkowski that stopped what was not like a really good counter-attack from Manchester United. Rashford down the right, Bruno Fernandes waiting for the tap-in. Tarkowski thwarted him.
Corner to Manchester United, rapidly emptying Goodison Park, in contrast with the amazing atmosphere before the match, the chorus of boos like I've never heard before. Corner taken by Manchester United, back to Rashford. Maguire with a header across the face of goal, but Pickford actually chases it, and he caught it, but it was over the line, says the assistant. So Pickford, who wanted to get rid of it quickly, but listen, in the grand scheme of things, I know it's never over till it's over, but that demonstrated positivity of the sort that Everton will need in the remainder of this season from their goalkeeper. Had to take it back for a goal kick. Manchester United played forward for Rashford, chasing against Branthwaite, and the young defender's able to lift it out into the Manchester United fans. In the Women's Super League, it's now Aston Villa 1, Everton 2. Everton back in front. And also Everton replacing Abdoulaye Doucouré with the young striker, the number 61, Lewis Dobbin, the 20-year-old, who was at Derby last season. This is his 6th appearance of the season. He's only been on the field once since August, so a bit of game time for him, the number 61 coming onto the field for Everton. But it's Manchester United with a throw-in, which is taken down to Rashford near the corner flag. Rashford looking to hold it there. Patterson, the right back for Everton, is in. It's deflected out of play off Rashford for a throw-in to the home side. So Everton waiting to take this. What about the task that faces Everton then, Leon? You know, how confident can you be that they are going to get enough points to finish above that line?
Yeah, I think the club as a whole and Sean Dyche and his players are confident. I think it would have felt much different had Everton won this game that feeling of positivity, of the form they've been in, of keeping forward momentum and not being too far away from being out the relegation zone already. But as it happens here, it's a long way off. It's going to be 2 wins.
Chermiti takes the ball on and shoots narrowly wide of the far post. That would have been some goal as well from Chermiti from outside the penalty area, 22 yards or so, on his right foot, got good contact. I have to confess, I thought it was flying in. It flew just wide.
Yeah, only just wide. I think Onana will say he had it covered, but I've only seen flashes of Chermiti since he's been at Everton. He's had a couple of substitute appearances. He's had moments here or there. That was nearly his best moment in a blue shirt.
3-0 remains the scoreline, however. 6:06 on the way on 5 Live. 08, 085, 909, 693. And there's a free kick. Idrissa Gueye just a little late on the challenge. And I think the yellow card came out there, didn't it? Yes, it did. So that's a yellow card for Idrissa Gueye and a free kick for Manchester United on the far side.
Yeah, just frustration that from Idrissa Gueye. Tried to complain that he hadn't done anything. Whereas as Hannah laid the ball off, he just kicked in. Moment of frustration about the day's actions, I think.
Free kick is taken by Dalot, right-footed, but that would just bounce all the way through to Pickford. That was a waste. But if you think of the last 2 seasons, Leon, when Everton have narrowly avoided the drop, 36 points last season, 39 points the season before. If you take 10 points off that, then they will be relegated if it's a similar points total. But I don't know about you, I just feel that under Sean Dyche now, with his feet under the table, they've got the capability. They have got the capability.
They've started to show flashes, but you say, that staying up, you need that amount of points. You take 10 off, and then you think about how you get them points. Well, Everton have already lost at home to Fulham, to Wolves, to Luton, now to Manchester United. Can't keep losing these home games when you're chasing extra points because you've lost some by having them taken away. So they're going to have to really start improving the home form, Everton Football Club. They're going to have to make this a difficult place for teams to come. It hasn't been the case.
We're into added time, 6 minutes of added time. We're already in the third of those 6 minutes. 6:06 on the way with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Harrison down the right for Everton, cutting in field, on his left foot, shoots, but that's blocked by Lindelof all the way out towards the left-hand side. They are the old firm, aren't they, Maguire and Lindelof? They're no-nonsense defenders, but the two of them have had a good afternoon here with a Nana behind them as Idrissa Gueye plays it in, but that's headed away by the shaven-headed Amrabat. Comes in from the right-hand side. Lindelof is there again. How many headers the two of them have won, Lindelof and Maguire, I'm not sure, but it's a lot. And just a few moments ago when Leon was speaking, the ball came to Maguire, who just on his right foot gave it what for and cleared it downfield. Again, no nonsense. Danjuma on the right. Wan-Bissaka blocks it and it bounces into the lower tier of the Gladys Street for a corner.
Yeah, I think in the modern game sometimes that's frowned upon, but it's a big part of defending. No nonsense clearances. You get your foot behind it, you clear the ball away from the danger and you get your team up the pitch. And Maguire, good to see, he still hasn't lost that.
Garner will take this corner for Everton, but the game's gone, the points have gone. Garner plays it in though to the back post where Tarkowski gets his head to it. It's headed across the 6-yard box by Chermiti. Cleared away, only just. It rattled around inside the 6-yard area, but in the end Manchester United have been able to clear it for Rashford to chase, but he can't keep the ball in and it's out for a throw. We're in the 5th minute of added time now. Manchester United just about preserving that clean sheet, and it was headed across the box. Medjbri was in there, Lindelof as well, crucially inside the 6-yard area, was able to clear it away. But 3-0, a healthy lead. And for Manchester United, really, moments this season haven't got much better than this in terms of the scoreline. Danjuma playing it across from the left-hand side, cleared out to Mikalenko, and now clipped in from Garner, but I think that's beyond Harrison. It is, he won't reach that, and it is a goal kick. So 3-0 it is, which equals their biggest winning margin of the season. They won 3-0 in the League Cup against Crystal Palace, Manchester United, so they're their biggest winning scoreline of the season in the Premier League. And really what we'll remember from today, we'll certainly remember how the Everton crowd conducted themselves and made clear their feelings about the Premier League's 10-point deduction But that moment in the 3rd minute when Garnacho scored that goal, as Eric Ten Hag just walks up, Darren Fletcher is there with him, and they're off there and out of our sight into Goodison Park as Everton have it inside the penalty area with Idrissa Gueye. His shot is blocked. Mikolenko now back centrally. Garner gives it to Dobbin, who was onto it on his right foot trying to find a position to shoot, which he does, but it flies away over and wide and into the Everton supporters. But that goal, Leon, super opening goal for Manchester United that rather prosaically I've just written in my notes as Lindelof, Rashford, Dalot, Garnacho. Which doesn't really tell the full story.
That explains the quality of the goal as well, as I've seen you or 8 goals in the past, John, because it was sublime, and it really knocked the stuffing out of what Everton were trying to do today. A huge moment of quality, exactly what Manchester United needed.
And there we are. That goal really set the tone for Manchester United on this day of protest by Everton and their supporters, which started with the loudest chorus of boos you could ever hear, but it's finished in a convincing victory, their best of the season in the Premier League so far for Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United. A brilliant goal from Alejandro Garnacho. Make sure you see that on Match of the Day 2 tonight. Penalty from Marcus Rashford. That was a crucial moment, the awarding of that penalty early in the second half. VAR with the call on that, and then Anthony Martial got in on the act with a very good finish. So it's convincing in the end, Leon.
Yeah, absolutely. All the talk before the game was about Everton. All the talk after the game will be about Manchester United. There's been questions over Eric Ten Hag's team this season, and this was going to be a huge test, a test of character, a test of nerve, a test of desire as well. And they ticked every one of those boxes. They showed huge quality in real big moments of the game, none more so than Garnacho's unbelievable overhead kick for the opening goal, but also for the two goals that followed, especially the third. And for all the questions that have been put to them, they've got a really good run going in the Premier League points wise, and this was another good test that they overcame.
Yep, brilliant goal from Garnacho. You could put it in an art gallery, that goal. The boos for the referee John Brooks as he leaves the field. Everton, they'll feel aggrieved for all sorts of reasons, but the final score here is Everton 0, Manchester United 3.
Yes, someone somewhere on social media will have tweeted, "Hang it in the Louvre." I have, excuse me, absolutely no doubt. The difficulty of it, I mean, the full-time whistle's gone and the goal was so long ago now as Alejandro Garnacho goes across to applaud the Manchester United fans. But it is still, by a distance, Leon, the standout moment. It just punctured that atmosphere of protest with an absolutely perfect connection.
Well, it did, because not only was it a goal that would have quieted the crowd anyway, but it was a jaw-dropping moment. Everybody was just stunned by seeing a goal of that quality, and it wasn't just the finish, which was remarkable, but the whole move back to front, crossfield pass, good touch, underlap and run, cross to the far post, and then that moment, it just literally took the life out of the atmosphere that Everton were trying to create, and it rocked the Everton for about 20 minutes before they really got going in this game. And when you're coming away into stadiums like this, when you know the noise that's going to be created, if you can do something like that, if you can create a moment, if you've got the quality within your game to help your team in that way, then you make the afternoon so much more easy for you.
It's an important win for Manchester United, of course it is, especially with the situation they've been in, John, but particularly because of the trip to Galatasaray in the Champions League.
Yeah, it's exactly what Eric Ten Hag would have wanted. You know, I can imagine Manchester United supporters were really feeling uncomfortable about the week that lies ahead, to go to Istanbul, to Galatasaray, to go to St James's Park next Saturday night and starting here. But, you know, they've set the tone here tonight, and I feel not in terms of just the scoreline, but the way that they, you know, there's been so much criticism about Manchester United attitude, where they are, what they are. Tonight here at Goodison, it looked as though they got it right, you know. So this is a big step in the right direction.
That's exactly the question I was thinking of, Leon, is how big a step it is. So how good were Manchester United today? If someone was just asking you to review this game, were they, for want of a better phrase, 3-0 good?
I don't think don't think Manchester United dominated the game. Well, had loads of possession and really had Everton on the back foot for the majority. But what they did is they turned up in the crucial moments. They turned up in the first 15 minutes. The goalkeeper turned up just before half-time and just after half-time. The goals that followed came at really good moments. They delivered in big moments of the game, and that's what you have to do. Everton didn't. Everton were the other way. They had a lot of huff and a lot of puff without any real final end product in the 2 penalty areas where it all counts, and that's where Manchester United were good. And it's a step in the right direction, no doubt. It's not a lunge, it's not a jump, it's a step in the right direction. And another big test will be against Galatasaray. Can they follow this up? Because it's been inconsistent from Manchester United this season. They've showed bits of good, then they've showed games where they're lacking quality, and their fans want to see a good consistent bit of quality in every single game they play.
If they'd been beaten today, we would have been talking about all of the players who are missing. No Højlund today, and no Anthony, no Mount, and all the rest of them as well. Casemiro, Martinez, that long list. But they've done this without them.
It is the same true of Everton here, Leon, in that it might be a small step backwards, but it's not a lunge backwards and it's not a backwards jump. 3-0 home defeat is never going to be much fun. But having watched the game, it doesn't necessarily need to be that painful for them, does it?
No, it's fine-tuning things, I think, for Everton at both ends of the field, especially at the top end. If you're creating big chances, you've got to convert them. If you're getting to the edge of the penalty area and there's an opportunity to make a good pass to score a goal, you've got to have moments of quality. Everton just seem to lose concentration in those crucial moments today. And also, that what today may have just caught up with a few. It may have made it a little bit difficult to go out there and perform. It shouldn't have, but maybe it did affect the Everton players. So, it's back to the training field, and it's moving forward, and Everton will now look to Nottingham Forest next weekend and how they can go and get the 3 points from there.
Yeah, Leon, John, thank you both very much indeed. To Everton, second bottom of the Premier League table on 4 points, of course, after the 10 deducted. So they are now 5 from safety after Luton's big win at home on Saturday. And at the other end of the table, Manchester United move up to 6th in the Premier League table on 24. Above them, Spurs 26, Villa in 4th 28, the same as Liverpool in 3rd, Manchester City on 29. And the Premier League leaders after 13 matches with 30 points are Arsenal. 0808.